You're on.
All right. Hey guys, how you doing? Solar Steve here, working with HHO Dude on his brand new panel, solar powered hydrogen. You can see we've got some panels going here. These particular panels are Mitsubishi Electric, 185 watt. They're rated at maximum conditions at around 24.6 volts and 7.5 amps. HHO Dude and I have been kind of experimenting around with wiring them in series, wiring some in series, and then paralleling, things like that. And we've gotten some interesting results. But the one question I put out to you guys is, maybe somebody's got an answer. If we hook up one panel to the cell, we get predicted voltage, around 24, 25 volts, As soon as we put on another panel in series, it becomes non-linear. We have 52 volts at the panels, but we only get 28 volts at the cell. When we add 3 panels, that should be, and we measured 79 volts, almost 80 volts, but volts at the cell never increased. And finally, with a 4th panel, that brought us up to a maximum of 110 volts, but volts at the cell never increased. And so my question is, what is happening with that? Why is the voltage not translating to the cell even though it's at the panel? One possible idea is just that, I'm measuring panel voltage with no load on it. That could be very, very plausible. But we're getting these 28 volt readings at the cell.
28 to 30.
28 to 30. At amperages ranging from 5 to 10 amps. Depending on how we've wired it, the best results we got were 2 panels in series, plus 2 panels in series, and then those 2 in parallel to the cell.
More amps.
Yeah, we were getting 10 amps at about 30 volts, and we got the best production in about about 2.5 liters, 2 liters.
No, actually, as we went up in amps, we started doubling production. 5 amps, we had close to 1 liter per minute. As we, went into parallel, we doubled the amps to 10.
2 in series, 2 in series plus 2 in series in parallel.
Right. When we went up to 10 amps, we got near 2 liters per minute, so production doubled.
Just keep in mind, though, that best configuration was producing PV voltage at 52 volts at,
right.
It should have been about 15 amps.
Right. Interesting enough, though, I do have a...
You might even want to hit this right here, there, HHO Dude, just so that people can see exactly what we've got.
Good idea. Right. And right now we're configured in a 16 plate, so that would be 14 neutrals. We have our positive over here and our negative on this side. So we did notice as we connected to this other connector here, which then dropped it down to one cell, about 4 plates, neutral plates. Production seemed to be climbing pretty good too. What was the amps during that time? We were losing the sun.
It was
so
pretty low amps. It
yeah.
was down to around 3 or 4 amps, I think.
Right, and the sun was going down, so we started losing power, basically.
Yeah, keep in mind, guys, that these panel specs are providing that you have maximum sun and the perfect optimum tilt angle, and direct beam radiation. So some of these power fluctuations can be because panels aren't perfectly aligned, sun's starting to go down, minor shading factors, things like that, and all of that is predictable.
Yeah.
I anticipated some of that kind of stuff. But the real mystery is cell voltage versus panel voltage.
Yeah, it is.
That's the mystery, because you do not notice that in automotive applications. Wouldn't you agree, HHO Dude, that when you do this in a car, the voltage you see is your alternator voltage or your battery voltage, and you don't have these voltage drops.
Correct. Also, I noticed that I was getting at one point 1.9 volt per gap. So I was real close to that sweet spot of 2 volts to 3 volts per gap. But yet we never seem to accomplish that. Couldn't get it any higher than 1.9 volt per gap in a 16 plate configuration. So we don't know what's going on, but
and we did use a pretty hot concentration on the electrolyte, didn't we?
yeah, we did. I kept on juicing it up, and it really didn't make much difference.
Yeah.
Once it got past a certain
Now,
point of concentration.
now, just as a quick observation, you guys, and maybe you guys would have a comment about this. This is just a theory of mine, and I'm a relative newcomer to this, but you know, what do you think? Resistance between things, and actually now I don't get anything. But before, when I did this before we turned the cell on earlier today, it was climbing to infinite ohms. It started off at continuity and rapidly began increasing in ohms, and after about a minute, 30 seconds to a minute, I was measuring as high as 6,000 ohms, and it was continuing to climb. Now, after the cell's been in operation for a while this afternoon, you can see that I've got infinite ohms. You know, so you know, that one is kind of interesting to me. But I don't know what y'all have to say about that.
Well, it's HHO Dude and
Solar Steve
signing off.